Yeah, that's right. Calvin P from the DMV. Mr. Fingers. This week in UGA football. Get ready, baby. Let's go. Good evening, gang. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope you're all doing great. You know, how's ever? You know what? I can't even talk today. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. Hope you guys in the back up in the balcony are doing okay. Hope you guys down in the front are doing okay. All of y'all on the sides, we appreciate you. Even those of you in the kitchen that's supposed to actually be working, that's watching the show, we appreciate you checking us out as well. It is time. It is time. It is time for yet another edition of This Week in UGA Football. Me, I am. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn something on. Hold on a second. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Me, I am live from the 405 where the wind comes whipping down the plane, direct from Zagnif Central, Mr. Fingers, and that guy over there. You know him and you love him, and that's the guy that needs to trademark the phrase that pays. Bama does what Bama do. He is the brother from another, the sexy mother hubba, the ace of base, in the place, in your face. In your face, specifically. You know who I am talking to. In your face, specifically. In your face. You put it in the face, right?
Yeah. That was on the other day.
This is my favorite part of the game. Wait a minute. Let me see.
What did he?
No, not to get you. Yes, indeed.
What did he say?
Yeah, we pay him in this. Pay him in the right order there. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Very, very happy to see our dogs play like they did this weekend. I had the B-man with me. We kind of watched. He got upset with me a couple of times because I get a little loud when he kind of got upset and went up to his room. He said, "Daddy, you're too loud." So he stomped upstairs, grabbed his tablet and he kept, "Is the game over? Is the game over?" And that we went from the first quarter until the game was over, and then finally he could come down. he wasn't coming downstairs, but got a little excited. But yeah, dude, I was pumped. I was happy to see them play, and they made me happy. I love it. I get more passionate when they play more passionate. That's just a funny thing. So, but you see, I got my red and black Bone Thugs hoodie on right here. So it's like dogs. Tell me what you gonna do. Sorry.
I started to wear this joint to work today, but I just went to work and the boss said, "Hey, how was your weekend?" And I said, "How about them dogs?" Because every week he's like, "Y'all gonna lose this week, or y'all gonna lose to Texas, or y'all gonna lose this week." One time he was right. We was talking about Ole Miss. So today he just said, "How was your weekend?" And I just said, "How about them dogs?" And he's like,
"Yeah, dude, we need to eat some crow." I mean, like, full disclosure, we need to eat a little bit of crow because we maybe we should do that. Maybe we should downmouth them a little bit. Maybe they'll listen and play better and like a reverse psychology type of situation.
I don't know, man. Ain't
I
nobody.
don't like doing that at all.
Man, I'm laughing because first of all, let me preface this. I want to give a shout out to one of the homies. He's in another group that we are in. It is called the SEC Focus Group. It is on Facebook. I actually am an admin for that group. I think I'm the only Georgia admin. But I sent him a message before the show, and I said I sent the link to the chat and I said, "Hey, you want to come on?" And he said, "Hell no, I'm boycotting college football." I said, "Well, I don't want to see no commentary on here, no more on Saturdays." He said, "I didn't say how long I was boycotting, probably till Saturday morning around 11." But shout out to our guy, Jeezy.
Jeezy.
Appreciate you. Yeah, Jeezy. So yeah, but anyway, if you guys are wondering, hey, you know what, Connor, you know what, man, damn it, you know what?
What's
I
that?
forgot something, man. I forgot something. Did you know that today is a very historic day?
Oh no, you know, maybe it feels stupid. No, I had no idea. What's up?
Well, not today, but you know, the Dogs played on November 16th. November 16th is a very historic day.
Okay.
A lot of things happened in history that day. A lot of stuff. So I'm just gonna run through a quick list of things here. Um, the Santa Fe Trail was used for the very first time in 1812.
Wow.
Yeah, that's that's history right there. That's like, you know, Oregon Trail, Santa Fe Trail. For those of you that are lost, that the few millennials, that the few Gen Zers that like football, I say few. There's probably a whole bunch of them. I don't want to generalize, but the Santa Fe Trail. I know you guys have heard of the Oregon Trail just because it's a historic historic computer game. But Santa Fe Trail, Oregon Trail, back in the day, we didn't have railroads, we didn't have superhighways, and there were no airlines. So you had to travel these well-worn trails by wagon wheel. By wagon, I mean, not, you didn't just like get in a wheel and roll across the country, but they took the covered wagons and the horses and they packed up and they traveled across the country. And it took them a long time to do it. The Santa Fe Trail was one of those trails. 1904. That's your history lesson. The more you know. The vacuum tube was invented in 1904. Really big deal because that kind of led to eventually what would become television.
Mm-hmm.
Also allowed the transistor to be invented. In 1959, a very famous musical. This is where we will get our Broadway folks. The Sound of Music premiered on Broadway. In 2001, the first Harry Potter movie was released. And then there
Wow.
was some famous people that were born on November 16th. Dwight Gooden, Dr. K, one of the best pitchers to ever do it, born in 1964. He's in the Mets Hall of Fame, New York
Yep.
Mets Hall of Fame. 1977, Maggie Gyllenhaal, actress Maggie Gyllenhaal, sister to her actor brother Jake Gyllenhaal, was born. Basketball great Amari Stoudemire in 1982. Uh, Classic actor Burgess Meredith.
No kidding.
Depending on how old you are, you either know him as the original Penguin from the 1960s Batman television series, or you know him as the dad from Grumpy Old Men. Either way, classic actor. And man, on Grumpy Old Men, it was great to see him cut loose and no TV censors. Whew, man, he went to
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
The
Wait a minute,
bloopers.
Burgess Meredith. He was in Rocky too, wasn't he? Wasn't that Burgess Meredith?
Oh yeah, he was also, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was me. He was me.
He was
He was
Mick.
me.
He was Rocky's
Yeah.
trainer. Save some of
Yeah.
that for the sequel, Rock.
Chase the
Then you,
chicken, Rock. Chase it.
yeah. Then in 1967, the very lovely and talented actress was born, who captured the hearts of American men across the country on Thursday nights as Denise Huxtable in the name of Miss Lisa Bonet, and made another generation of American women insanely jealous when she married Cal Drago, Jason Momoa. And then in 1993, the man who was the inspiration for the phrase BDE, we won't say what that stands for, but you all know what it means, because he was dating a very famous Armenian woman by the name of Kim Kardashian in the wake of her breakup with rapper Kanye West. Some historic events that took place on November 16th, and I wanted to share those with you. But you know what else is a real big deal about November 16th?
What's that?
For the 8th time in a row, on a Saturday evening in Clark County, the Volunteers of Tennessee got mollywopped by the Dogs.
Mollywop. And it looked like they were going to be, but we got, oh man, what's that? Engine got to running. And you know what? Another
Did you like that setup? Did you like that setup?
I definitely like that setup. And what is it? 28, 29 a row home?
Something like that. Well, we're not gonna talk about that. We're just talking about Tennessee. And Josh Heupel has yet to score 20 points. For those of you that are following, you can get to 20 points a variety of ways. You can go score 3 touchdowns with no point after, and then get a safety. You can score 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. You can kick 6 field goals and get a safety. There's a variety of different ways you can get to 20 points. And so far, Josh Heupel has not been able to find the proper AB up, down, left, right, controller combination to knock out Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson's punch out. We're not even going to talk about that. That's the only reference we're making on this show. Okay. Just letting you know. Yeah. work on your servers, Netflix. But he hasn't been able to put it together. And yes, it was a 2-score game. We get into the score, sir. We working our way there, man. We working our way. But Josh Heupel not able to get it done again against the Dogs. And since Mr. Spencer brought that up, shouts out to our guy Sean Spencer. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, sir. The couple of y'all that are watching right now, please give it a share. Tell your people come check us out. We're gonna gloat for a little bit because we haven't been felt this good about a win in
Right.
about 5 weeks or so. I take that 4 weeks, but this is a home game, so that makes it even more. There's a 2-score game.
Right.
I mean, what you got, man? Because I could talk the whole hour. What you
Ooh,
got?
exactly. I mean, you can't. I mean, I was excited after. Well, I mean, I was reserved a little bit when we got down 10-0, but once we started rolling back, and I've been saying a lot about Carson, and that's what I've been waiting for with him. Like you could tell, he got comfortable. He was emotional, jumping around, like he's running, called his number a couple of times, and putting his helmet on folks and running them over, and I mean, it's we had some drop passes, we had some problems holding on to the ball, and putting it on the ground a couple of times, but he I think when he gets the way he got on Saturday, that just permeates through the team, and that just people were playing and getting hyped up. And again, it's a home game. We haven't been home in, like you said, 5 weeks. But at the same point, though, if he can hold, I mean, I think we always do better when he is that animated. You know what I'm saying? But I really hope it remains to the end of the season, and then when hopefully we get to playoffs and he just keeps it moving, because the whole team does better when he does that. And he was dealing, like, I mean, he was, man.
Yeah, he was.
No,
He
you know what I'm
absolutely
saying?
was. When the game opened up, okay, and we went, and Arian Smith dropped that pass, and we went 3-and-out. I said, "Oh man, here we." I said, "Let me go ahead and let me sit back, because here we go with this again." And then Tennessee marches down the field and scores a touchdown. And I'm
Right.
like, ah. But then something amazing happened. Carson Beck got under center. Carson Beck stood back and clapped his hands, and the
Mhm.
thunder flashed, and the ball was hiked, and the lightning and the lightning rolled, and the thunder clapped, and the ground shook with the stomping of the feet and the yelling of over 90,000 rabid dog fans as he led the team down the field to score a touchdown. And I said, well, in the words of
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, I said, well, that's good. And it was back and forth. That's all he
We've
said.
learned
Remember,
not to
he
get
said,
overly excited.
yeah, and you don't want to,
Yeah.
the way they've been playing, you don't want to get overly excited, because the Dogs have done some things, and you say, oh, they got this well in hand, and then you go, oh my God, they're fighting for their life. They were winning by 2 touchdowns. What's going on? To your point, Mr.
Yeah.
Spencer, the reason that I use the word mollywopped, this is more so for the benefit of any Tennessee fans that may be watching this later, because Tennessee was going to skull drag us, Tennessee was going to crush us and end the dynasty.
Yeah.
Tennessee was going to do Nico Iamaleava was going to throw for 700 yards and 10 touchdowns and run for 6 touchdowns, and Georgia is hapless and Georgia is done. And I'm not trying to be that guy to be like, yeah, we still that. It's just the fact that Georgia was able to, for the first time, I want to say since Clemson, really play a complete game. More on that later. So yeah, it was a mollywhopping. And then on top of that, let's just go ahead and call it what it is. Anytime you have a team that is highly ranked, that is shut out completely in the second half with the best defense in the SEC, with
Yeah.
the best quarterbacks in the SEC, when you are able to make him ineffective and that defense ineffective, and you're able to shut them out and keep them out of the end zone. I mean, it wasn't the Lions against the Jaguars yesterday, or the Panthers, or whoever it was. They played 52-6, but that was a
Yeah.
state win for Georgia yesterday. That was
It
definitely
was. It was
a
like the
statement win for
defense,
Georgia.
like you're talking about the defense, man. Secondary showed up, like Malachi was throwing, he was flying around and the defense was getting through the line, and there, we had five, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had 5 sacks yesterday. We didn't have, and they didn't sack Carson once. And
Say that. Say wait,
no
wait,
interception.
hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Pause. Remix. Say that again. What happened? How
Actually,
many times?
hold on. Let me make sure I got it right. Let me make sure I got it right. Yeah, 5 total sacks. Yes, sir.
Hey,
5 total sacks.
this is crack research we're doing here, folks. He only got sacked none. Oh wait, let me make sure I said that right. And I say that, and I joke because I'm the worst one about that. I'll say something and I had to go back and go, nope. Let me catch that. Because
I'm saying we had 5 sacks. We had 5 sacks total for our defense, and then secondary was balling out. I mean, we didn't really give up too many good plays. I mean, like we gave up the 5-10 yarders like we normally do. But yeah, that was what was irritating me a little bit. Open in the front, middle of the field was open a couple times, but all said and done, defense did great.
Defense stepped up big. Oh man, I mean, you name it. Everybody was out there. Everybody was out there making plays. Bodies were flying across the field. You saw defensive players 2 and 3 at a time. So as soon as the ball was hiked, was just crashing the defensive line, and Nico had to immediately drop his reads and go to plan B, and then go to plan C. Oh crap! By the time he figured, oh crap, I got to scramble. He's got 285 pounds or 300 pounds or 600 pounds of dogs. Sometimes 3 dogs on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, look at
note,
Smell. Smell had 8 tackles. KJ Bolden had 8. Jalen Walker had 8. And everybody was running. I mean, you said it. They were all
you
running.
get a tackle, and you get a tackle, and you get a tackle.
Exactly.
You know what though? Side note, serious note. Nico was in concussion protocol last week. Where do they do that at, other than the Miami Dolphins? And that's not to make light, not to make a joke. Where did they do that at, other than the Miami Dolphins? He was in concussion protocol last week. That means that he potentially had a concussion last week, and they trotted him out there to play. So was he 100%? Was he not? I mean, the world, like the secret to a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop, the world may never know. But
he made plays. I mean, like, he scrambled around. He was a little bit slick for us a couple times. But I mean, after we kind of dialed in, it was Katie bought the door. But I mean,
oh yeah, 100%. Speaking of Mr. Ayamaliava, the more I say it, the better I'll get at pronouncing it. Our boy Uncle Lou calls him Nico Amalivia, but
that's what I said.
20 for 33, 167 yards. Yeah, not the greatest of performance from a guy who they were saying was, early in the season, or at least the Volunteer fans are saying, sorry, Jeezy, if any of this hurts, I apologize. I'll give you $1 and let you tell me where on the doll the comments hurt you. I'm just giving you a hard time, brother. My man Jeezy hit me up on Saturday while I was at the gym talking smack.
Oh boy.
He hit me up at the gym talking smack. He's like, you gonna hear Rocky Top all day. How many times we heard it? Like twice?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. And I think one time they started playing it, the broadcast cut it off. But yeah, so then they held the vault. They held the vault. The defense showed up and showed out big. I wish they had done this in the Ole Miss game, but the past is past, and we can't change it. Not unless a crazy-haired scientist shows up in a DeLorean and says, "You gotta come back to the future with me." But yeah, I mean, that defense. Whew, 3 and out.
Look at it. look at it. I mean, whenever I read that, after that Ole Miss game, I guess it was reported that the leaders, stepped up, and I mean, the leaders being like Carson and I'm assuming Jalen and I'm assuming maybe Dell, but those guys stepped up and they just they I don't know what was said in the team meeting or what have you, but Kirby said that people act like or the media acts like it doesn't happen, but it happens every day. But it was more, I guess, passion behind it. Like they were, their backs against the wall, and they just discussed like what they need to do and to work hard. After that loss, and it seemed to work because they came out. Hot. What really upset me though was that long bomb, that home run they threw, and I guess
Oh,
Arian caught it, and I was
you
like,
mean
huh?
Aaron, you mean that ball that Arian Hands of Stone Smith dropped?
By the first,
That's
I
the new
think,
Hands of Stone. Remember back in the day, it was a boxer they
yeah,
called him
yeah,
Alexis
yeah.
Hands of Stone Arguello, and then you had Ronnie Hands of Stone Garvin in
Yeah.
the NWA. You hit people across the head and they just fall all the way out. Yeah, Arian Smith, you are now the new Hands of Stone, the third generation. Just saying.
So
That,
hey, I mean,
boy got
it was
that,
said. Yeah.
that boy got harder hands than Kadarius Tony. I said it.
But hey, check out the tight ends. I mean, Delp and Lucky, and the other guy they thrown in there. I can't remember his name to be honest with you. I'm 28, but I mean, and they had mentioned that the problem or may have been the problem that Beck didn't trust his receivers, and you could kind of sense that when he plays and whatever every snap or what have you. But it looks like he was dialing in, like he was like, and they were catching it. Delp actually looked like Bowers to me, like some of the grabs that he was getting.
That dime he
It
caught in
looks
the end
similar.
zone, and when they broke
Yeah.
down the play,
The one he caught on sideline.
Carson Beck had already let the ball go, and he wasn't
Yeah.
at the spot yet, and he put it right where he. I mean, it was so picture perfect. It was insane.
Yep. It was NFL. Absolutely. But
I
the
mean,
grab
that
that
was.
he made on grabbed on the like the sideline. He was covered and smothered. He jumped up and
Oh
got it.
yes, yes
Yeah.
sir. Like a Waffle House Saturday night special
Yes, sir.
with a little bit of
And it
cigarette
looked like
ash
it
in
was
it
flour esque.
because the cooks at Waffle House like to smoke while they cooking. They probably had a little P funk ash in it.
Did you? I think I posted that comedian there. Said like you get somebody that you don't ask for managers at Waffle House. The manager's probably smoking a cigarette, flipping pancakes at the grill. You don't want to talk to the manager.
Nah, but he's not lying. I can't recall a time when I didn't see the manager either waiting tables or cooking food ever.
Oh yeah, they never was in the back. They was always on the floor. They was doing what everybody else was doing. That's for sure.
There is no back. It's the griddle in the bath. It's the griddle, and then the back is just for storage, and the back door where everybody goes out
You
back
put
to
the trash
smoke.
out.
Right, to take the trash out. That's it. Ah man, hashtag Waffle House. Now I want man, don't do that. I just had a great dinner. I made myself a great dinner.
People talk about like Waffle House. I still like Huddle House. Huddle House is better. I like Huddle House.
There's not a lot of huddle houses around here, and there's never really been a lot of huddle houses around me. I normally only see those on the road when I'm traveling.
Right.
But I mean, Waffle House. There's a Waffle House
Yeah, everywhere.
two miles down the 2 miles down the road from here, and they deliver DoorDash style, and it's like you can't beat it. If you want pancakes, yes, by all means get them from IHOP. But if you want around here in this neck of the woods where I live, if you want waffles, it's one or two places. You either get them from Waffle House or Granny's Kitchen. Granny's Kitchen is the business. Oh my God,
See, don't get me
Granny's
talking
Kitchen
about
is
food,
the
man. I'm getting hungry.
business, business, business. But 100%. So we are here today. Yeah, it's Victory Monday. It's definitely Victory Monday. So about a griddle. Oh, what about a
I'm
griddle?
gritty. He's talking about gritty. What the
Oh, doing
deuce?
the gritty.
Griddle.
We talking about the griddle, man, at Waffle House, man. You know the manager back there with the Newport half hanging out the mouth, cooking your waffles and your eggs, and you don't even dare say nothing because they probably pack because the whole staff is probably packing. So you just eat it,
But the
and you
apron
know
on
what?
had probably hadn't been washed in 7 years. The apron he
You,
had on,
you and you know what? Hey, look, say what you want to say. Them Newport ashes taste good when you mix it in.
Looks like
It's
pepper.
just it's seasoning for the sausage. Seasoning for the sausage, man. I tell you what, boy, you
Yeah.
wild, you wild, you wild. Hey, look,
Uh,
we got and for those, hey, I tell you what, just watching that game, I watched that game in awe. And it's not that I didn't think the Dogs were capable of doing this. It's just what the production that we have seen through the course of the season, the slow starts, the lack of accuracy, the defense sometimes show up, the defense sometimes doesn't show up. And Lord have mercy, the horrible performance by the offensive line last week, it just did not leave me very optimistic. But I mean,
yeah.
it but
I'll eat
they
my
showed
crow
it.
with guy. I mean, I'll eat it all day long. I'll eat my crow.
Yeah, man.
I'll eat my
So
crow, man. I got it, but I'm saying, but it's but if you notice, did you notice that the play calling, Bubba's play calling was a little bit better and not as predictable? Did you notice
very
that?
he got creative and he went straight for the
Right,
jugular he went straight for the jugular off the rip. He let them
right,
know we're here and we're coming for you because this is do or die. He let Tennessee know this is a do or die game, and we gonna win or die trying. So
right.
that's where that is, man. If you ask the average dog fan on the street how they felt after Saturday's game, we kind of took a poll, and this is what we got back. Ring the bell. Go Dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I
Oh
dude,
man.
I had to I really have to refrain. I have to hold myself together sometimes when they're really showing out because
Yeah.
it's something that's amazing to watch. But yeah, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a real short break, and we'll be right back. We'll come back and break down a little bit more of the game, and we'll talk some more about the craziness that is going on within the SEC and the upcoming CFP playoffs. This is This Week in UGA Football. Mr. Fingers, Colin P. We'll be right back in just a second, so don't go anywhere. All right, so Pete, we appreciate you tuning in and watching these videos. Me and Colin will be back every Monday, every Thursday, right on this very channel. Like what you see, hit the like button. Want to get the notifications, hit the subscribe button. Want your peoples to know, hit that share button and send it all across the internet. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. We'll be back next time. We'll see you then. Go Dogs. Okay, so we're not on Thursdays. I don't know what that. Oh, we just talked about this. It must have been in my subconscious. When we first came on our very first season, we were doing the Monday recap show and we were doing the Thursday preview show. Uh, Life
Right.
changed for us a little bit, so we're not doing the Thursday show anymore. I'm gonna have to redo that one, but that's a good one. I like that one. That'll be a nice little break. A nice little break. What I wanted to do during the break was I wanted to pull out something that I had here, and it was just a whole write up about the madness that is the playoffs. But I can't
You
find
know.
it. I can't find it. But welcome back to This Week in UGA Football. Mr. Fingers here, Colin P from the DMV there. Dogs win 31-17. Pretty much effectively kind of knocks Tennessee out of, well, I mean, not necessarily.
Mm,
I want to say it knocks them out, but as stands right now, man, there's a whole lot of two-loss teams right now in the SEC. And
yeah.
the scenario for the whole tiebreaker is insane. I don't even want to go through it right now because it's a whole lot to parse through. But right now you got Texas is the only true one loss team in the conference.
And that loss
at
is us.
9-1, and their losses to us.
Right.
Texas A&M has 2 losses. They only have 1 conference loss, but they have 2 overall losses. 2 overall losses. Wow, I had to say that twice because it sounded like I said something something that wasn't right. They have 2. They're 8-2 overall, but they're
Right.
5-1 in the conference play. Okay, they got that
Mhm.
loss to South Carolina. Now, realistically speaking, if everything plays out like we think it's going to play out, what will wind up happening is those 2 will. No, I take that back because. Well, no, that still might wind up happening because Texas and Texas A&M still had to play each other on rivalry weekend, on Thanksgiving weekend, and one of them inevitably is going to lose. Uh, but if things play out like we think they're going to play out, Texas will wind up playing. I don't know if Texas beats A&M. I don't know who they're going to play in the championship because now you got a bunch of 2-loss teams because A&M lost to South Carolina. You got Georgia at 8-2. Georgia lost to Texas and Bama. You got
Yep.
Tennessee, who lost to Kentucky and lost to us. You got Bama, who lost to Vanderbilt and lost to Tennessee. You
Mm-hmm.
got Ole Miss, who lost to I can't remember who they lost to, but they have 2 losses also. I mean, realistically speaking, if A&M loses, now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 teams
You got
with
5, yeah.
2 losses in conference play, and then what that would do is if A&M loses to Texas on rivalry weekend, their only hope to get in the playoff is if they play in the SEC championship and beat Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what we're looking at right now. And then I mean, we literally have we've been telling people for years. It just means more. That's a slogan that the bean counters at the SEC came up with. Is a great slogan, but
Yeah.
literally it does, man. I mean, we're beating the snot. We beat the snot out of each other once we get into conference play, and doing away with the divisions. It's not like when you see a bunch of dogs barking at each other through a fence, and then you move the fence, and then they decide they're all cool. It's basically you take the fence away, and we have been beating and we have been
Yeah.
biting and scratching and clawing at each other since conference play started.
Well, that's like, even Vanderbilt, like we were talking about the seemingly, and I'm not saying this, I'm just saying this as a hypothetical thing, like the mistakes and that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if you're not the bottom tier, but mid, the lower tier. You're gonna beat somebody. Like you're gonna get beaten by, like the top tier is gonna get beaten by a lower tier. You know what I'm saying? Like seemingly,
Yep.
it's gonna happen.
And
That's
the,
guaranteed.
C- the CFP rankings aren't out yet. The new ones aren't out yet. They'll come out tomorrow, I believe. So let's see what we got here.
You
AP
think about that though. That's five. That's 5 SEC teams out of 12.
5 out of 12. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like with 2 overall losses. Like all
Mm-hmm.
of us all have 2 losses. Some for and for all of us, they're
Not
all in
overall.
conference losses. Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and A&M all have 2. I'm sorry. Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss all have 2 conference losses, and those are also their 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
A&M has just 2 losses. They've got 1 conference loss, but 2 overall losses. Texas is the only one who's a true 1-loss team. So Texas wins out. Texas wins out. They're in the championship. Then after that is like you got to play eeny, meeny, miny, mo to figure it out. But so AP poll right now, you've got Texas at 3. Um, you got Texas at 3. You got Bama at 7. Georgia at 8. Ole Miss at 9. Tennessee at 10. And then after that, first team out is first. Well, not first team out, but outside the 12 is Texas
Yeah.
A&M. Right now, Texas A&M's got to get through Auburn. I don't see that being a problem. It's a game at oh my god,
Well, remember, we talked about that. The line on that game is a 2.5 A&M swing.
right?
So I mean, it's like that.
I think that had
Kind
you
of,
know what though. I sincerely think that has something to do with them with that big loss to South Carolina. I really do.
yeah. And just to say, Texas not only has A&M at the last game, but they got Kentucky. So Kentucky could jump up, and I don't foresee this happening. But I mean,
No, I don't. I don't. I don't.
but
I
that's
don't
their
see
two
that happening.
conference, games they got left. So I mean, I don't see that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, like Alabama's got Oklahoma. I don't really foresee that being an issue unless they play down to Oklahoma because they're playing here in Norman.
Right.
Ole Miss is at Florida. Now that one could have some implications because for a guy who supposedly was all but fired 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, since the Florida game and the big surge that they had after Lagway went out,
Yep.
they they yeah,
They look good.
they're almost bowl eligible. I mean, they still could be bowl eligible. Tennessee's got UTEP. I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah.
We've got UMass. Come on now. And Texas is playing Kentucky at home, so I don't see that being a problem. They're playing in
No.
Texas. Nah, that's not happening.
No.
I
That's
tell
true.
you what, though, if Stoops figures out a way to get those boys hyped up enough to beat Texas in Texas, because it's not like they didn't lose in Texas before.
Right. That's true. I'm saying like that. Somebody said the other day they were saying like nothing better. I mean, like the teams know they're out. Some of them like to be, like fire star
Spoilers.
or spoilers and trouble star. Yeah, exactly. Troublemakers.
And Wisconsin almost was exactly that. Not that Wisconsin was out, but Wisconsin almost was a big spoiler this weekend. Oregon, you want to talk about squeak by like Debo's bicycle wheels? Oh, I used
Ooh.
to have that on here, and I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it because we barely use it. But that was a great. That's a great. I mean, dude, could you imagine if Oregon had lost to Wisconsin?
Yeah. Yeah. It was in jeopardy there for a minute. For a
Yeah,
quick one.
but only for a minute. But I mean, just looking at right now, just going down the AP rankings, Oregon's still at 1. They're playing Washington this weekend. We have another game here with implications. Ohio State taking on a 9-1 Ohio State against undefeated Indiana
Oh,
at Ohio State. I don't really see that being much of a problem, but Indiana's been playing some good ball, so we'll see what happens there.
yeah, man.
We mentioned Texas and Kentucky. Penn State's playing at Minnesota. I don't know, man. I know Minnesota's not a big opponent, but James Franklin has a habit. Now, the big thing is he can't beat the big teams. Like he's not been able to beat Michigan and
Yeah.
Penn State, and that's been just the thing, the running thing. The assumption every year is it's going to be either Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, or Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State because Penn State cannot get past those two guys on the top end.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it would be a heck of a time for James Franklin and the Nittany Lions to drop one, but I just got a feeling about that one. Notre Dame's taking on Army. That one's got some implications as well because Notre Dame has one loss and quite possibly the worst loss in all of college football
Yeah. Yeah.
to all of college football. And every time now we say Notre Dame, our friends Nick and Tina just giggle to themselves because of NIU and Delilah. But they're playing Army, and Army is still doing the doggone thing.
Yeah, they
Okay,
are.
they're still doing the doggone thing. I'm looking forward to Army Navy game. Which we already talked about Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee.
You got Miami.
Miami's got, huh?
I was gonna say Miami. You go ahead. Miami's got Wake.
Yep. You got Boise State at Wyoming. Can't wait to see if Austin Genty gets closer to I would love to see that boy break this record. SMU's taking on Virginia. BYU at Arizona State. Arizona State's been playing some good ball.
Yeah.
Colorado State at Kansas. Kansas can be funky at times, so I hope Dion is able to keep the guys focused. Man, let's talk about Colorado for a second. I know this is a UGA show. Let's talk about Colorado for a second.
Yeah.
In 2 seasons, 3 seasons,
Night and
Prime.
day. Yep.
Prime has taken a team that was 1-11. Now they're 8-2. They're bowl eligible, and they're playing for a spot. Their first year in the Big 12, they're playing for a potential spot in the Big 12 championship.
That's awesome. Yep.
Clemson versus the Citadel should be an easy wipe for Clemson. Clemson, iffy in the ACC. What they got going on? Army's at 18. We got them with Notre Dame. South Carolina should handle Wofford easily. Tulane playing some good ball. The Green Wave versus Memphis. Memphis also another good team. Arizona State at BYU. That one's going to be that worth watching. We talked about that one. Iowa State taking on a very disappointing Utah. Utah just not the team of the last couple of seasons, but Cam Rising cannot stay healthy.
Yeah.
God forbid he should have another year of eligibility. He's going to be about 30 years old by the time he gets out. I know that's the same jokes they made about Stetson.
Not really, because I mean, you know, how many guards in there was their ninth year, and now I mean, like 7 years is actually nothing. I mean, like you got guys in there's like 8-9 years, and
Dude, at
like him
some
being
point, at some point, I know you're trying to make the league, but at some point, you too old to be on a college campus. And if you are 26, 27 by the time you get to the league and you're not in a skill position like a quarterback, you're already losing. I mean, you're in your prime, but some of your best developmental years are in your early 20s. And
yeah,
you're still playing ball at the college level until you're almost 30. There's some habits that are hard to unlearn. You know what I mean? Not every quarterback in the league is plug and play.
right, right,
Patrick Mahomes comes in, lights it up. Lamar Jackson comes in, lights it up. Russell Wilson comes in. You saw what he did in Seattle.
yep,
Um, Not a huge fan of this guy on a sports level. Nothing against him on a personal level, but Brady sat on the sidelines, wound up going and doing his thing. Big Ben, like not everybody's plug and play. A lot of these
right.
guys got to get in the system and learn the system and get familiar with the receivers and get familiar and learn all these new schemes and sometimes it takes a bit for them to learn all of this stuff. And you're 26, 27 coming in, and you've been out of school since you're 18. You've been in college for almost 10 years. You know how much unlearning and relearning you have to do?
Oh yeah,
Just my 2 cents.
yeah.
The basics are the basics, but then you're talking schematics. Then at the bottom end of the
You
scale, you got
ain't talking about
UNL.
your knees and joints, talking about your knees and joints and
Right.
head, shoulder, knees, and toes, right? So
Right. So at the bottom of the barrel, not the bottom of the barrel, but the bottom of the 20. God, not the bottom of the barrel. These are the top 25 teams in college football. You've got a UNLV at 8-2 against San Jose, Illinois at 7-3 against Rutgers, and Washington State versus Oregon State, which is for the most part always a good watch. Missouri falls out of the top 25. And then the notables at the bottom end of on the back end of the top 25. Missouri with 56 votes, Memphis with 38, Kansas State with 36, Syracuse with 21, Louisville, who fell out last week, I believe it was, Pittsburgh, LSU with 6. Oh, they also fell out. Vanderbilt, I guess, looks like Vanderbilt fell out.
yeah.
Uh, Vanderbilt may make their way back in though. We'll see. We'll see. Again, this has been an amazing season of football, dude.
I'm saying, like, look at the amount of like one loss teams, and got Oregon is undefeated, but then you got a boatload of like let's talk about BYU. They're 9-1. Let's look at Boise State. They're 9-1. I mean, the teams that they're still in the mix, but only one loss, and then some of the teams that have two losses that you wouldn't typically think they have two would have two losses. But I
Right?
mean, the things shake up, dude. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's been great. And again, the drawback to not having the divisions is that, and now having a playoff where you got a set number of teams and having a logjam of teams near the top that are all with two losses is some teams are gonna wind up being the odd team out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the beauty of the parity of college football these days is like any given look, forget any given Sunday. We're talking any given Saturday now. Any given Saturday, somebody could get that work. You catch somebody on an off Saturday and they come in, they might have, whatever the case may be, whether they were overhyped or overmatched or they were evenly matched and come in lollygagging because we're
Mm-hmm.
them and they get run out of the stadium. Looking at you, Alabama. That
Still
Vandy
keep
loss,
looking at
that Vandy loss is
it.
gonna stick with you. That Vandy loss is gonna stick with you for a while. Y'all can talk about
Yeah.
Alabama all you want to. We know we have a hard time beating Alabama. Y'all lost to Vandy. And that's not a knock. It's just the
No.
Vandy is not yet at the level where Alabama is supposed to be. There are certain expectations of Alabama that are not quite there of Vanderbilt yet.
What was
So
crazy is when Saban, like when they won, you remember Saban? They put Saban saying that the easiest place to win is in Vanderbilt, and they put that on repeat on the score on the scoreboard at the game whenever they they beat Alabama.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh
was
yeah,
hilarious.
man. So, but again, getting back to this Georgia game, dude, there's, I mean, the run game, even with us having a limited run game, Frazier did what work he could do.
Yeah,
Um, and you mentioned Oscar Delp, man. Where we know the guy's been out there.
yeah,
This is what we wanted to see.
yeah.
We're glad it's there. We're glad it's there.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
hope to see more of it.
I mean, that's we knew we had the tight ends. It was just getting them the ball. I mean, maybe it was the fact that Beck didn't fully trust his receivers, but I mean, if that's what you're going to be calling 80 to 90% of the time, I said that there need to be there needs to be some trust there. You know, what I mean, if that's
Uh-huh.
what will be the mo. But man, he was. I mean, honestly, Delp. I mean, he had some Bauer moments. Like he was going up and
Yes,
getting the
he did.
ball. Not saying he
He
didn't lose
definitely
like a
had some
fumble.
Bowers like moments. Was that him that made that contested catch?
Yeah. Yep.
That was him. Yeah.
Yep.
Glad to
I
see
believe it was
London
him.
Humphrey. Glad to see London
But
Humphreys and
Humphreys,
Dominic
yeah.
Lovett. Humphreys and Lovett learned how to hang on to the ball as well. And here's the thing. Now, unfortunately, it was a lost effort for Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson did have a good game. He had 101 yards on 19
Yeah, he
carries,
did.
average over 5 a carry for 101 and scored a touchdown.
Right.
But I mean, I'm looking at this. There's 3, 6, 9, 10, 10 different players caught a pass.
Mm-hmm.
10 different players. I mean, you go from Humphreys to Lovett to Delp to Urasek. Aaron Smith
Yep.
did finally manage to catch 3. Nitro Tuggle. I didn't even know we had a guy on the
Nice.
team that had a nickname sound like he's one of the American Gladiators.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Lawson Lucky, Dylan Bell, Cash Jones, Nate Frazier. Each of them had at least one catch for an average of 13.9 per, and with the 2 touchdowns. That was absolutely amazing. But yet, the story of the night. Story of the night. If I had a game ball to give out, the game ball would definitely go to Mr. Carson Beck. Um,
Absolutely.
Carson Beck, who was 25 of 46 for 347 and 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, 0 turnovers.
Yep. Absolutely.
0.
No fumble rooskies. No
No
ints. No.
fumblerooski do. None of that.
And he was cool as a cucumber in the pocket too, man. You saw that? Like, I mean, honestly, the O line was giving him some protection, but I mean, even when it broke down, he was cool. Like he backed up, stepped up in the pocket. I know he had, man. We know he has that.
Not to
Showcase.
mention the fact that this is what this I don't not that we have necessarily been saying it, but this is just football. This is just football IQ. If you can keep your
He's got.
quarterback protected long enough and keep the defense off him, he will make a play somewhere. I
I
mean,
remember
he
that one time that he had I don't know how many seconds. He had at least 5 or 6 seconds back there, and he went through his checks, and then I think he actually went through them again, and then he found Lovett over the middle, and then Lovett, I think it was it Lovett? I think it was Lovett. But anyway, it was a great pass across the middle. They came back to him, had all that time, and to your point exactly, the protection means everything. He could go to his checks and get the open guy.
yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, at the end of the day, it was amazing. It was an amazing game to watch. I think it was great to see Kirby Smart be animated and enjoying himself on the sidelines. There's a couple times and you just see him go, no, it's all right. It's okay. Then when you normally see him losing his ever-loving mind and cussing out the refs and the fans and the get-back coach. And then, of course, they giving you the slow-mo and you just lip-reading everything he's saying. It's like, my goodness,
Hey,
that man has a potty mouth. Um, but, yeah, it was great to see all of that. It was great to see Carson Beck do what he did. It was great to see the defense and the offense and the special teams all step up 100%. And again, from now on, that's how you supposed to do. No, I'm not gonna say that because
that's how you drive.
I said that last time, and then yeah. So,
Yeah.
but it was really great to see that. So now we're gonna actually take the break that I wanted to take earlier. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about a couple more things here. And yeah, so you guys don't go far. We'll be right back. If I can find it. There it is. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. If you did you miss us, we're glad that you're back hanging out with us here on this week in UGA football for Victory Monday. Dogs win over the Tennessee Volunteers 31-17. So I'm going to ask you this question here. You know we got UMass coming up, and
Yeah.
I think we should take care of business there. My question is, how you feeling about Georgia Tech now? Because remember, we asked the question a couple weeks ago. Do you think we're going to beat Georgia Tech? Are we going to get by Tennessee? Now that we've seen what we've seen, are you feeling a little bit more confident about our chances with Georgia Tech?
If the team we saw Saturday shows up, if they still got the intensity and don't get kind of lax with playing UMass and complacent, yeah. I mean, I know this is not the Georgia Tech of old. I know they have potential, especially what's it? King he's balling out. I mean, that dude just got 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns. But yeah, we've got to contain him. I think we're going to win the game. I mean, obviously, it's on Good Friday and it's at Mercedes-Benz. They moved it, but so we're going to be inside a dome. So yeah, I mean, I feel better. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to say that we're going to mollywop, mollywop
Yeah,
them.
we got to be careful with we got to be careful with the verbs we use.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be okay, but I don't want to be like, yeah, we got it. But do they have? I don't think they have anything. They got the predictors got us at 89.6% to win. So
That's good. As
yeah, we
Forrest
get.
Gump said, well,
Well,
that's good.
I don't see any line, which I don't expect. Yeah,
I think it's too early for them to put a line.
yeah,
I think they're going to look at what Georgia Tech's got going on this week and look at what we got going on this week, and then they'll come with something a little more accurate. Um,
yep. So what do you
yeah,
think, man? Are you feeling a little bit? I mean, you got to feel a little bit better.
I'm definitely feeling a lot better about our chances. It's just, you ever watch a team slowly start to appear to deconstruct itself and then just wonder if they're going to be able to pull it out, and then they don't,
Yeah.
you know? Like case in point, Nebraska. Nebraska started the season, poor Nebraska, started the season 5-1. They only had to win one game to become bowl eligible.
Oh.
Here we are now with a couple of weeks left in the regular season, and Nebraska is 5-5.
Oh wow. so they lost their last four.
Yeah, and they right now may not actually make a bowl game, let alone the playoffs.
That's unorthodox because they're normally in the bowl like what? Not I guess every year, but I
Oh,
mean
they
most
haven't
years.
they haven't really been that good here as of late, sir.
Okay.
They're
So
not they're not the Nebraska of old. Yeah, they're 5-5. They are ranked 14th in the Big Ten. And
wow.
their last two games, let's just run through this. Their previous game. They lost last week to USC, Lincoln Riley and USC.
Oh.
The previous week they lost to UCLA. Now they have to face Wisconsin this weekend. And then on Thursday, not Thursday, on Thanksgiving weekend, they have to play 6-4 Iowa. they may well not go to a bowl game after starting the season 5-1.
Wow.
So
Well, if
there's
you look at
days when I see things like that, it makes me so ever grateful.
yeah,
Hey, look, you know what? 2 losses ain't that bad when you look at it like this, because it could be real bad.
absolutely. But I mean, look at the scores of those games. I mean, aside from Indiana, they beat the crap out of them 57 or 56-7. Ohio State, that was a decently close game, 21-17. UCLA 27-20, and USC 28-20. I mean, they were. I mean, an L was an L, no matter how you slice it. But I mean, like they were, closer.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they beat Colorado. Colorado, the same Colorado that's right now potentially vying for a Big 12 championship.
They beat them early. So
I mean, yeah, they beat them early in the season. And they beat Illinois, who's ranked number 24, but then it just was I'm sorry, they lost to Illinois. But it's just been a downhill slide ever since.
yeah.
So they may well I think you may see a whole lot of Oklahoma fans coming from Nebraska after that. So
So hey,
anyway,
I got a question for you real quick. So we're talking about the playoff system, right? So I
yeah.
mean, so you've got the SMUs that are 9-1. You got the BYUs that are 9-1. You got the Boise States are 9-1. So I mean, is this? I mean, am I wrong? Or this is what a 12-team playoff is for? It's kind of get those teams in the playoff system. All right, not system playoff scenario.
The
Playoff
way that it's
game.
set up is to give other teams a chance to get into the play. Well, okay, they expanded it because there are a lot of teams that are worthy of at least getting a playoff berth that just couldn't get a look because you've only got a 4-team playoff. And prior to that, you only had it was
Right.
like, yeah, we just okay, the number one and the number two teams are going to play each other. And there was really no rhyme or reason. It sometimes was the number 2 team in the coaches poll or the number 1 team in the AP poll, or you know what I mean? There was no rhyme or there's no
Yeah.
definitive playoff system. You could go, I mean, there were teams that went undefeated and won their conference and didn't even get in the playoff. See Florida State last year for the most recent example.
Yeah.
So they set it
And then
up like
TCU beating Michigan, and
yeah,
then we smoking them. They don't
right.
want that to happen again.
And so they were like, all right, see, we gave this team a shot because they did this, and then they just got run over in the playoffs. So that's why they set it up. It's like, all right, the Power 4 teams all get an automatic bid. We'll take the best group of 4 team, or is it group 4, group 5, whatever. We take the best from that group, and then after that, I forget. I'm still not 100% well versed on how they do the next 7 teams, but it's based on that
Right.
CF, like they're in the CFP ranking system, and then from there it's conference championship, blah 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 blah. Like the best, and then the group of 4 is I think that may or may not depend on whether or not you win your conference, because you could win your conference and realistically you could win your conference and have 4 losses but still not get in the playoffs. You get what I'm getting at? So
Right. That's not a tiebreaker. They took that away. It's not a
I take that
tiebreaker
back.
for. I mean,
Well, at least in the group of 4. In the group of 4.
right.
Like in the power 4, you win your conference, you get an automatic bid. So it did. They
Yeah,
did that
exactly.
to open that up because there's a lot of teams at 5 through 12 that were playing some great ball, had an opportunity to maybe get in the playoffs and potentially win, and in theory could potentially, especially after what we've seen this season, all bets are
Yeah.
off, bro. After this season, all bets are
Absolutely.
off.
And looking at, I'm still not completely convinced. I mean, be that as, I mean, whatever it just sounds like, but I'm saying that the committee's going to do what the committee does, right? And I mean, you're gonna, and you have the strength of schedule. I know you have these other bullet points that you go through to decide where these teams fall.
Right.
But and I'm not just saying this because I'm we're a Georgia fan, but I mean, I can kind of see where but I don't understand us dropping to like 13 or 12. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it kind of just said well with me, but at the same point, it is what it is. But even
Well,
Paul
even
Paul was upset, which I was like,
Kirby said it himself. I don't even know what the committee's looking at. Like,
well, that's my point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's where I'm at. I mean, you got me swinging at whatever they pick. Which I was saying, at the
Like,
end of the day, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
yeah, like a case in point. If I'm not mistaken, no, I'm not. I don't want the CFP. I want the AP rankings again. If I'm not mistaken, in the AP ranking, now we lost to Ole Miss last week, right?
Right. So that was
Right.
an argument. That was an argument. They should have been ahead of us.
So we lost. So we lost to Ole Miss last week, but we're ranked above Ole Miss in this week's AP rankings.
Right.
We're ranked 8. They're ranked 9. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a head scratcher for a lot of people. And then if you're talking strength of schedule, you got Texas, who has doesn't have, I don't think, any wins against anybody ranked, and their one
No.
and their one loss is to us, who is
And
sitting
they
at
were
number
number
8.
one for like what 6 weeks? They were number one like for the better half of the season. Well, at least 4 weeks.
Right. For the first like 3-4 weeks, right?
Yeah,
4 or 5 weeks, right?
we
So
beat them when
then
they were one.
Right. So I get us being ranked behind Alabama. I don't get us being ranked. I get us being ranked in front of Tennessee. I don't get us being ranked ahead of Ole Miss, though. You get what I'm getting at?
No, I
Because
get you. But Tennessee beat Alabama, right?
yeah, Tennessee did beat Alabama, but then we beat Tennessee. So I get us being ranked. I get us being ranked ahead of Tennessee and behind Alabama, but I don't get
Right.
us being ranked ahead of Ole Miss.
Right.
Like,
So I'm
and
saying I'm
that's
going
and that
to
and
cross
that's
that.
that's where that whole eye test and all that stuff just drives me nuts. Because, like, what exactly are you? What, like, there needs to be some. I mean, I'm serious, dude. I'm at the point. Like, okay, here we go. I got this. I got the standings pulled up right now. So Texas at 1, Texas A&M at 2, Georgia at 3, Tennessee at 4, Alabama at 5, Ole Miss at 6. And I'm pulling up the schedule to see who they lost to here. So Ole Miss has played. They lost to Kentucky. Oh, okay, that was not a great loss. And they lost to Kentucky, and they lost to LSU, who now has 3 losses. But they also beat. Uh, oh, we were their only ranked. We were their only ranked win.
Really?
Because yeah, because they started the season out with 4 gimmies: Furman, Middle Tennessee, Wake Forest, Georgia Southern. They
Okay.
lost to. Then they turned around and lost to Kentucky. They beat South Carolina. They lost to LSU. I think yeah, and that was not. And again, LSU was ranked higher than they were at that time. Then
Right.
they beat Oklahoma, Arkansas, and us. So we are their best win all season. But they still beat us. So I don't,
Yeah.
and again,
Handily.
that's the puzzler for me. Like, why are
Yeah.
we anyway? I don't know why they do what they do. I'll take it for what it is. I really hope they work all that stuff out. Because that's just gonna cause more and more confusion and
Yeah, I
more and
mean
more
that's
I
kind
mean,
of what I'm saying is like there was already confusion about the 14 playoff thing, and I kind of said it before this even happened. I think a lot of people said there's going to be even more confusion with the 12 team, which I mean,
well, see, I think a lot of people went into the 12-team playoff looking at the 12-team playoff and going, okay, where the SEC is concerned, most people probably figured there would just be 2 jackrabbits that would run way out ahead of the field, and that was
right,
going to be it. But like I said earlier, you took down the
yeah,
fences. You took
yeah,
down the fences. We are playing teams this season that we don't normally play during the regular season, because we always would play our East opponents. We knew
right,
we were going to play Florida, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Missouri. We know we were going to play those. We were
hmm,
going to play one team from the West, and then we're going to play Georgia Tech at the end of the season, and that's
right,
half the schedule, right? So,
exactly,
um, but now you've taken the fences away. It's a free for all.
yep,
It basically is a free for all, last man standing, and we see what it did this year. I still believe NFL style. Divvy them up. I don't care how you divvy them up. Win your conference and you're in. Now, granted, there's a big difference between 32 teams and 140 something. But
right,
but as the Bible say, the wheat shall separate itself from the chaff. Okay, there's gonna be some teams you ain't got to worry about them. Show I don't care. You ain't got
yeah,
to worry about them being there. Bug Tussle State. is definitely not going to be vying for a conference championship no time soon. Matter of fact, I think
Right.
Tussle State is still in the MEAC back there, like Division 3. So we don't have to worry about that. But you
Yeah.
feel me? Would you feel me? What I say?
Yeah. Hear me what I say. That's right. Hear me what I say.
You feel me?
I
What
don't
I
chew my
say? You
campus
hear me? What
twice.
I say?
So yeah.
Sign your pity to sign your pity on the running time. Not the Timmy times. Not the Timmy times. Look here, man. We have had it. We have taught. We
We
have
can,
talked.
we
We
can
have
go
talked.
on forever. Yep.
Yeah, we could. Let's go ahead and get to his final thoughts and close this show out. Oh man, gosh, it has been an amazing weekend of football. Um, it's been an amazing weekend of football. We've been enjoying it, and the NFL season has, depending on how you look at it, what team you root for, it has been really great for you. It's been a roller coaster ride, and I think right now and you and I have gotten to the point where the roller coaster ride starts to do the crazy stuff with the Falcons, but
Yeah.
we'll see how that all pans out. But today's final thought, um, I'm a parent. I've got kids. I got four of them. I got four of my own making and two from marriage. So I got six kids. You're a parent. You got a kid. It is very important that you take the time. I think we as a society here in this country have gotten away from taking the time to educate our children about the the how precious life is, about being kind to one another, about giving grace. We have now grown up. We now have a generation. We have a generation that is in young adulthood right now. That is the me generation, and another generation coming up behind them, which is the me also generation. And gosh, I'm not exactly sure what to say. I don't want to be morbid, but I just go ahead and come out and say it. Uh, there's a fraternity brother of mine. It's a principal at a middle school who, for the second time this academic year, they are mourning the loss of a student to violence. Um, just take the time to teach your children the preciousness of human life. I think that's when we'll stop, because then I get all off in the philosophical, and
I,
we don't want to turn this into that kind of show. Just
yeah.
teach your children how precious life is, to give grace and to understand that sometimes we disagree, and sometimes we disagree. Now there are certain things that you need to come to the table and hash out, but even then, you don't have to come to the table and hash it out with violence. Just if
Yeah.
if you bump into somebody in the street, hey man, I'm sorry about that, bro. My bad. And just go on about your business. Cause like the movie say, a live a fight another day, Bobby. A live a
Yeah.
fight another day.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think everybody can decipher what you're getting at, picking up what you're putting down, so to speak. But no, I mean, and kind of I'm going to kind of handcuff it to that. Like you and I are from the South, and you're old enough, and I don't know what happened in Savannah, or in my high school, you got to beef with somebody. I mean, it was going around the high school or whatever. We go. There was a special place that we called Sand Pit by my house, which was actually pretty cool. You go down there, you fight. I mean, like if you go down there and you fight, nobody's, and you have people around. And if it came to that, if it came to that point, came to violence, to your point, I mean, honestly, you don't want to come to that point. But if it does, I mean, you handle it like, but if somebody, I mean, nobody died. I'm saying like,
Right.
everybody's gonna walk away from it, and you have people there. You know what
You
I mean?
threw
And then
hands.
most
Yeah,
time, most time, both parties walked away and never had it. Maybe the person probably got the worst end of it and probably didn't mess with that person again. So, but
yeah. And then on top of that, the people that was there was like, all right, that's enough.
yeah,
It's
exactly. You have
over.
people
It's
there to
done.
break it.
Fight's over.
Yeah,
You won.
yeah. You didn't have people cheering at all. You didn't have people watching out. Like I mean, if somebody got the better of it, they pulled them off. And
Right.
you can attest to this too. Most of them trucks and everything, they had guns in them. I mean, like honestly, they were easy access to all that kind of stuff. You know
Bruh.
what I'm saying? But we didn't have any school shootings. We didn't have any of that kind of stuff going on, and and it was much more easier to do. But I mean, I'm not trying to go off a beaten path here, but I mean, to your point, like, yeah, just a few seconds of gratification can end up in a lifetime of resentment or regret. You know what I'm saying? To go with what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
well,
don't
if
mean
you
I
think
don't
about
mean
what
to
you're doing.
laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but that can be applied to a couple of other
Oh,
scenarios as well.
oh, absolutely. But I mean, think about it. Like
But
you can think
yeah,
about
yeah,
long and
you
hard.
yeah, to bring this back to the serious point, yes, just think. I mean, you don't want to be the person that's responsible. I I could not ever be able to deal with that was a hard thing for me in the military to think about the fact that I might have to take a human life. It was already hard enough to think about the fact that I might have to watch some of my friends die. It's
Right.
guys that I rode around in cramped vehicles with, guys that I got yelled at with drill sergeants with and did push-ups with, and we was like, man, forget drill sergeant and oh man, first sergeant tripping and going to the field together and playing
Yeah.
spades together and meeting each other's families and hearing the stories about the fiancés and the girlfriends and the babies and all of that. And that you were going to lose those. I had a even harder time dealing with the fact. I mean, if I had to, if
Yeah.
it came down to it, and I'm very fortunate that I was never in that scenario. But just dealing with the fact
Yep.
that if that I may have to take another human life.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you that I found out? You know, even though I'm from the South, I mean, I couldn't be the one that hunts. Like I'll eat deer meat all day long. I'll eat whatever any kind of wild whatever. But when I was younger, I had a BB gun. I killed a bird. Like I was stupid. It's like in my mind, I killed a bird, took it to daddy, and said, "Hey, I got a bird," and it was like like a red breast or something like that, something you ain't going. And I felt bad after I did it, so I was like, "All right, well, hunting's not for me." But I mean, I'll eat the meat, but I'm not the one that I have no problem with it. But that's just me, and like you have people that. I mean, it's kind of like a rite of passage down there where we're from, but some people that just wasn't for me. But going back to what you were saying, the parenting thing is like, yeah, I mean that seems to be what's kind of absent. I'm not, it seems to be to a lot of families, and you know, I can't hear you.
That's where it starts because that's where we learn from the time we are born
Right,
until we get to a certain point where
right,
we start to look at other people around us and how and taking on their affectations as well. We learn everything from the time we are
yep.
born until we go to school from our parents.
And I think this one's taking kind of a hit because I mean, when we were younger, not to say I did, but I mean, anything within arm's reach. You know what I'm saying? And don't be running my house. It'd be whoever's house you were at. Like the parents had the authority to to,
Boom.
to lay it down. You know what I'm saying?
You'd be like, why you go over that lady's house acting? Man, mama, she mean. I don't care. You don't go over somebody's house acting that way. You,
You
yes,
go to your
ma'am.
friend's house
Yes,
and
sir.
your
No,
friend's mama
ma'am.
has
No, sir.
authority. Yeah. Oh,
Right.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
that too.
Right.
Nice.
So
But anyway,
having said all that, I hope we didn't bring you too far down off the wagon. The dogs win, reign victorious yet again. Hallelujah. Thank God. Because Lord knows the dog fans would be really calling for Kirby's head right now if they'd lost that game on
wow.
Saturday.
When have
Uh
they not been through that?
oh yeah, they did it. They did it. They did it the year we won the national championship. They did it the next year.
Yeah.
We look like crap. We only beat them by 27. We should be blowing everybody out by 52. Shut up. But glad that we won the game. Appreciate those of you all that tuned in, contributed to the conversation. It looks like there's a fairly decent game brewing right now. Or is it out of control?
I don't even know.
I think the Cowboys are playing the Texans. Um, oh, it is a decent game right now. 17-10 at halftime. The Texans are up 17. Uh, and wow, that's pretty good. So, having said all of that, you got and like Forrest Gump said,
That's good.
well, that's good. Well, you guys have a great rest of your evening. On behalf of myself and Colin P, it's been a pleasure being here with you this evening. We Rev had a little too much while he was in Athens, but he'll be putting his prediction out by Wednesday. So you keep your eyes out for that. So having said all of that, you guys have yourselves a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Go Dogs.
There you go, Dogs.